Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories with updates, of course. If you do love a Reddit story, do me a huge solid, click that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's dive straight in to the good stuff. And our first story comes from a throwaway account, as I said, with a couple of updates as well, and it's titled, My 25 female stepsister, 23 female, is getting married to my ex, 26 male. We were close as any two sisters growing up. My mum and her dad met when we were 8 and 6, and we got along really well from the get-go. My ex-boyfriend broke up 2 years ago. He cheated on me, and I found out about it a week after he proposed to me. 5 to 6 months later, stepsister told me that she and ex-boyfriend have started dating. I couldn't believe my ears. I was very angry at her, but the rest of my family, mum, stepdad, 2 half-sisters, didn't think it was a betrayal at all, and my mum once yelled at me to grow up and move on. I gradually distanced myself from stepsister without making a fuss. I just poured myself into my studies instead and hid behind the "I'm swamped" excuse. I started dating my current boyfriend, CB, 25 male, about 10 months ago. The only problem is that stepsister used to have this huge crush on him, and she still, to this day, texts and DMs him. They never dated. I haven't told anyone in my family that I'm seeing someone. Stepsister and ex-boyfriend got engaged, and they have sent the wedding invitations last month. Wedding in June. I didn't RSVP because I don't want to attend. Last week my mum asked me to visit. When I got there, my mum was waiting with stepsister, her BFF and maid of honour, my half-sisters and ex-boyfriend's sister. It was an intervention. My mum started by saying that I needed to stop alienating myself from everybody and get over the hurt. Stepsister is getting married and she wanted me as a bridesmaid. I told them no. Stepsister started crying, saying I'm ruining her wedding. She asked if it has to do with me not having a +1 because she could pair me with one of ex-boyfriend's single best men and I wouldn't feel lonely then. I got really angry and told her I didn't want to go to her wedding because I don't like her. She started crying again, calling me bitter and a hag for purposely wanting to hurt her on her big day. I left. My mum called me later saying if I didn't show up, at least as a guest, I'm cut off from the whole family. You see, they need me there so people see there's no hard feelings between us and that I have blessed their marriage because she has been getting a whole lot of shit from family for what she did to me. I'm so angry now. What's between sister-in-law and I is broken beyond repair. Why is it so hard for them to understand? Plus, I do have a +1 should I decide to turn up, and stepsister would regret the day she invited me then. I have half a mind to do it and ruin her day. I love my mum and my sisters, but I'm tired of them choosing stepsister's side, and I know mum is serious that she would cut me off if I didn't attend. She loves my stepdad very much, and upsetting stepsister means upsetting him. Any advice on how to tackle this? Because however I turn it, I am the loser. And hopefully I'm understanding this right. When he did cheat on you, was it found out who it was with, who he actually cheated with? Was it with stepsister? Was that some sort of secret relationship? It's quite convenient that, 5 to 6 months later they turn around, hey, we're a couple now. I mean, it might not be the case at all, but that went through my head when I read that part of it for sure. And as always, I try to put myself in that person's shoes and how they were feeling. And, if this happened with, say, my brother got with my ex and like that, I'm sure I'd be really hurt by that as well. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know. But I don't think myself would be able to attend that wedding either. And for the mum to come into this one and say, she's going to cut you off from the whole family because of it, to keep up appearances or whatever the excuse was. Screw these people. I kind of just want to say, just be done with it. Don't go to the wedding and just live your separate life away from these people. Why would you want to be a part of that family anyway? They're willing to cut you off just like that because of it. Oh, it's winding me up already. Absolutely. Almost said not the arsehole again. Damn it, Mark. But we're going to cover a couple of comments, then move on to the update. Lola in Disguise says, one of the oldest rules in the book, no dating your friend's exes. That's for friends. Sister's exes are extremely off limits. She betrayed you. Tommy Throws Up says, my reply would be, that's fine. In my eyes, you were all cut off long ago when you put stepsister's happiness over my pain and keep harassing me to put myself through pain and suffering for her and all of your benefits. That is not family to me. No thank you. Have a wonderful life. Wild Grapefruit says, OP. I don't mean to sound like an ask asking this question, but did ex-boyfriend cheat on you with your stepsister? Whether he did or not, do you think your ex's boyfriend character has changed? It seems like your stepsister may be about to make a huge mistake by marrying a cheater. You could tell your mum that this is the reason you refused to attend the wedding. Of course, it wouldn't be the whole truth. Also, if your stepsister had/has a crush on your current boyfriend, and they are texting, are you sure you want to let that continue? After reading these Reddit subs for months now, I'd be a little nervous, especially if your stepsister wants to get back at you for not attending her wedding. I do think I would not attend the wedding. You don't approve, and your family wants to use your tacit approval to pretend everything is fine. I don't think that is healthy. Scorn Wolf says, stepsister is entitled to marry whom she wants, and you're entitled to your feelings about this, including deciding not to attend her wedding. Hold your boundaries and self-care, even if it means being cut off from your family. Families that hold you to ransom like this are toxic, and you are best without them. Good luck, OP. This is tough. Ad Familiar says, your stepsister does not respect you and your boundaries. I'm disgusted by her. Good luck to her. Cheater isn't always a cheater. She will end up miserable. Karma goes back on her. And one more from Wish I Had Listened who says, what? She never even dated your CB, and she is having a meltdown over your relationship with him. Hasn't she found a Mr. Wonderful with your scumbag of an ex? Sounds like your stepsister and your mum are intensely jealous of you. There's no wonder your stepsister's current ex and you get along. Neither one of you wants to participate in your family drama. I think you and CB should have a fantastic time the day before, the day of, and the day after your stepsister gets married. Going to a beautiful hotel for a couple of nights, getting pampered and enjoying each other's company, all without the burden of pretending everything is just a-okay with your stepsister, or hanging out at a beach and enjoying a simple picnic. Have fun watching the train wreck from a distance. Now we're going to move on to the update to see what happens. Hi again. I couldn't find my original post because I used a throwaway account, but I could find the deleted post and I copied it to this account if you want to read it before the update. And here it is. SS stepsister, CBF equals current boyfriend, XBF equals ex-boyfriend. Before I update, I want to thank you very much. When I wrote here, I was so hurt and consumed with anger that I was planning a very cheap revenge on my stepsister. But since then, and with the amazing advice I got from you, I realized that pettiness isn't the answer. I thought back and came to the conclusion that the only hurt I was feeling was because of my mum. Since my ex-boyfriend cheated, I felt that my mum let me down by not supporting me. I don't care about stepsister or ex-boyfriend. I'm very happy with my life now, and I love current boyfriend. I decided to try one last time to fix things with mum and explain to her how hurt I had been by her treatment. I also decided to tell her the truth. On Friday, I visited mum. She was alone at the house. I started by telling her that I was hurt about the intervention because I didn't think I needed one. That I was hurt that she always took stepsister's side to please my stepdad, and that I have many reasons for not attending stepsister's wedding. While I don't feel hurt anymore about her, stepsister's betrayal, our relationship has changed and I don't see her as my sister anymore. I don't feel obligated either to try and repair her reputation by going to her wedding. She made a very controversial life choice, and even if I'm not hurt by it anymore, she must have known people will be giving her a hard time and that I honestly don't understand why she cared. And lastly, I told her about current boyfriend. I told her about stepsister probably still has feelings for him and it wouldn't be nice for us to go to a wedding and ruin her day. I told her I wasn't ready to make our relationship official yet and that if stepsister knew he would be my +1, she would change her mind about inviting me. I saw that my mum was getting more and more upset the more I talked. When it came to the subject of current boyfriend, she was shaking with suppressed rage. After I finished, she told me she was right in thinking that I'm a vindictive hag, that she's ashamed of me, and that my bitterness is the reason I will end up alone. She told me I was pathetic for hooking up with stepsister's old love, and she forbade me for telling anyone about him. And you should break up with him now if you know what's good for you. She threatened to tell current boyfriend that I'm using him to get back at stepsister, and then she kicked me out of her house. Yesterday, when I was in the kitchen, I heard the doorbell. Current boyfriend opened, and it was stepsister with ex-boyfriend. When she saw current boyfriend, she asked, "What are you doing here?" I came out the kitchen, and she was terrified and her eyes full with tears. Her plan was to sit and talk, me, her, and ex-boyfriend to sort things out, but when she understood what's going on, she started crying. She called me names, cursed me, and threw the shoehorn I have in the entrance at me. She kept yelling, "How could you do this to me?" Current boyfriend asked him to leave and blocked her from getting at me. She left in tears, ex-boyfriend confused after her. Mum sent me a long email today telling me that she was disgusted by my actions. She thought I planned for stepsister to find out about current boyfriend and me. She forbade me from ever contacting her or my sisters and told me that if I don't end things with current boyfriend immediately, she will make breaking us up her priority. I showed current boyfriend the email. He is very distraught. He asked me if I would consider moving to another city with him when I finish school and we move in together. We'll see what happens, but I like his suggestion. It was the first time he talked about moving in together. I would have been over the moon if I wasn't so heartbroken. You know, out of all the sucky people in this story, the mum is just the worst, isn't she? I got to that paragraph on the update where it said, she was calling her a vindictive hag and ashamed of her, the bitterness is the reason that she will end up alone. And then turns around and says, you're pathetic for hooking up with stepsister's old love. And I thought, what? Did she not step back at any point during what she was going on, her little tirade there, and said, oh, what a hypocrite, right? I mean, come on now. And calling you vindictive when she's the one who says she's making this her priority to break you guys up now, rather than just saying, look, let's just go no contact with each other, which is still a sad situation, but this person's still going to try to be a part of your life out of pettiness, anger, and vindictiveness. It's absolutely toxic, and you're best off out of that family. I wouldn't want to be a part of that for sure. But there's a point of this that got me questioning, she turned up at their house, saw the person that, she loved or fancied or whatever, got tears in her eyes, threw a shoehorn and walked away. Ex-boyfriend has stood there confused. Eventually this information is going to come out, and I'm wondering what ex-boyfriend is going to be thinking after this. If I was in ex-boyfriend's position and I found out the person that I'm marrying has feelings for this other man like this, that she's got so worked up that she's throwing shoehorns at people trying to charge him down, it would put some serious questions in my mind. Anyway, what about you guys? Let me know your thoughts on this story. Absolute wild one, and in some ways I think it is a positive for OP. They know what their family's truly like now, and they can move on and hopefully move in with their boyfriend and have a happier time without all this drama going on. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to another story. And our next story comes from a throwaway account titled, "A mutual friend propositioned my newlywed wife for sex and an affair. What's the best way to respond?" And it does follow with a little update as well. So, my wife is a bombshell, 10 out of 10. But more than that, she is an amazing woman, compassionate, funny, caring, loyal, and a badass. And some of her friendly qualities are often mistaken as flirting or expressing interest, so with a heavy heart, she is now much more guarded when conversing with strangers. With old friends, she is her usual friendly self, as they know her. But alas, now one incident has caused her to pull back from interacting freely with friends too. So, we just got married last week, and on Sunday night we hosted a small dinner for a few of our close friends. Now, one of those close friends had a crush on my wife for a while now. Nothing serious, but she knew and told me immediately, and then cut all unnecessary communication with him. That sucked for her because his wife is a good friend of my wife, and because of his obvious crush, they couldn't meet as often. We thought he would get over it, but on Sunday night, he called on my wife for 5 minutes and delivered his love speech, and how he had to have her, and now couldn't sleep knowing that she is married to me. How true love knows no bounds or rules. Love can't be constrained, and it should be free, and so on and so forth. She immediately came and told me, but we didn't make a scene as there were other friends there too. Now she is royally pissed and wants to expose him to all our friends group, as he might have done the same thing to others too, or he might in the future. I am of the opinion that we should cut contact with him, but don't do anything more than that. What's the best way forward? And we do have an update in the same post, so some of the comments will be replying to that update as well. So we're going to cover the comments after the update, but to me in this one, and I'm just basing it off the advice that we've read like in previous cheating posts. If you find someone cheating, I think you should always tell, their partner, because they're also a victim in this as well. Their husband's going around telling other people that they love them and they want to be together, and love has no bounds and all this kind of stuff. That person deserves to know, don't they? And I think that one is just as simple as that to me. So now we're going to go over the update to see what that says. So I got a lot of good advice and some well-deserved criticism about my behaviour too. It was indeed not right for me to take it as lightly as I appeared to do. Believe me, I wanted to fight him, but it wouldn't have solved any issue, only created more. But one thing the majority of the commenters got right was that I should have fully supported her desire to go nuclear on him, and I appreciate the honesty from you guys. So anyway, I went and told her that I am sorry, I was not more supportive and I'm 100% behind her, even if it means I have to kick his ass. She laughed and she has devised a plan of action. She was going to talk to his wife first and then inform all the women in our friends group, as she thought it would be irresponsible for her to ignore his behaviour in case he tries/already tried with anyone else. So she called his wife for lunch today and she told her. His wife was heartbroken and I stepped away to give her some freedom to vent. I went out and came back when my wife messaged me that she had gone. She told me that his wife confessed that it had happened once before too, when they lived somewhere else. Apparently, she seemed almost resigned to the fact because she wasn't angry. Rather, she was sad when my wife told her that she will be telling other women of his behaviour. She didn't protest. My wife has called everyone for lunch on Saturday, and that's when she will tell them. She even feels bad about the wife, but feels it's kind of a moral responsibility to warn everyone. I am in complete agreement here. That's the update, and I'm going to treat my wife to homemade pizza tonight since she is so awesome. Yeah, I can make pizza, lol. Thanks for the suggestion, guys. Kind of brag is that at the end. But Grunt Bugly says, backing your wife is the right move. And your wife handled it like a champ, telling his wife in private and even letting her know what's going on to tell the women in the group. Good update. Riddell says, sounds like your wife is a 10 on the outside and at least a 12 on the inside, so glad you took the advice to support her 100%, and hope you will continue to do so. Best of luck. Slain Hydra says, good job, simple as that, good for both of you. And Zardos says, sounds like the husband needs to get together for a backyard bourbon and barbecue night, then set Merv the perv down in the middle and give him the hint that hitting on any of your wives might not be best in his interest. If he hits on either of your wives, we'll get him a response from you as a group. Some not so subtle hints might get his attention. Now, what do you guys make of this one? What would you do if you found yourself in that situation? How would you deal with it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. A huge thank you for joining me today and getting involved in the stories and the channel in general. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.